Hello, everybody. Peter Gantner here. Excited to be here today. So, for a lot of the people that have been on a lot of calls, I talk a lot about Web3 and I talk about the participatory economy. And of course, if you've heard a presentation before, you know that 10 years ago, we began down a pathway of saying, hey, there's this new thing that's coming called the participatory economy. And then if a community came together, they could be a multiplier on this idea of that instead of investing in companies or being lucky or working for a company, you could actually just participate as a customer and end up earning digital assets. Those digital assets, of course, would go up in value with the success of the company. We have used Amazon as an example of, imagine if Amazon did this instead of going out and Jeff Bezos raising $1 million from 20 different investors at 50 grand a piece. Imagine if he just said, hey, I'll just take my shares and anybody who buys a book, I'll give a share in the company and, sell 1 million books, right? Because, everybody could just get one with it. So why would I buy a book at Barnes and Noble at that time or any of the other Borders books? I think is the one that went completely out of business. Why would I buy a book from them if I buy the same book and this person's willing to give me a share in a company that could be very valuable? So we have understood that community is commerce, participatory economy, and then a few years later, we found Web3 and realized that that is what blockchain cryptocurrency, even though, when you watch the news, they talk about crypto, but really the underlying value to society, to you, me, every single person we know, is Web3. Crypto is just a representation of the value that Web3 is creates. So that's the value proposition. So it's, and so we, of course, found WeFi a few months ago. It'll be 3 months on the 2nd of this next month. The founder of the company is Reeve Collins. Reeve Collins is somebody that when we got into crypto 7 years ago, about 6 months later, after we got involved and started to realize the value that was created there, we found a recording of him talking about Web3, what Web3 is and how it's different than traditional capitalism and why it is better for every single person on the planet, except for maybe the one percenters, the people that are, the puppet masters at this point, I guess we would call them, that for the most part, that this idea and this concept of Web3 is the factor of if you participate, you benefit financially. And it was this leveling the playing field and giving people opportunity that if they created value, they would get value back. So essentially honoring in the slate of value proposition for any company. You have the founders, you have investors, you have the executives, you have the employees, and then you have the customers. Every single person in that equation that I just talked about up to this point have been able to get paid or create massive wealth, except for the customers. At this point, customers have just been customers. In Web3, it actually says, wait a minute, the most important of all of those, founder, investors important, yes, employees important, but the most important in that equation is the customers. Without customers, Amazon is nothing. That's that simple, right? In and out is nothing if people don't go there and buy their hamburgers. So Web3 honors that. And so when we found WeFi and found out that Reeve Collins was the lead of it, we said, okay, he understands Web3. Now he's got 4 other founders, so there's 5 of them. And so we don't really know, other than what they say, that these other 4 founders understand community as commerce, participatory economy, Web3, right? All of this stuff. Well, that has been confirmed that they absolutely do understand it. So about 7 or 8 days ago, they made an announcement that every single person that starts purchasing ITOs, right now they're running a 30% bonus where if you buy 1,000 ITOs, you get 1,300 on that. But also when you buy your ITOs, you actually got shares in the company, in the core company that was there. But if you bought 1,000 ITOs, you would get 1,300 ITOs, but you would still only get 1,000 shares. I'm going to share my screen right now. So a week ago, they announced, hey, by the way, we're going to start doing it for the shares. So everybody's been holding off. And if I knew that the other 4 founders understood community as commerce, the participatory economy, and Web3, I would have said, guys, don't stop. Buy all the ITOs you want. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing. But nature is that, hey, they're going to have a start date, and only people that buy ITOs from that point are going to get it. Guys, this is my account. I have not purchased any ITOs in this account for over 2 months. But wait a minute. Why do I have an additional 4,116 shares? Well, I would like for everybody that has a Wi-Fi account, pull up your Wi-Fi account. Go to Earn, go to that. You are going to find what they did is so Web3. It's like, look, we're going to offer more shares to people that join today and forward. Why wouldn't we go back and offer them to give them to all of the other people who did it prior to that happening? This is absolutely phenomenal, guys. I'm going to show you this. So my 14,839 shares, by the way, this is not my account. This account belongs to True Badger in NSI. So it is valued right now at $1.547 million potentially. It's a gift certificate for the shares. $1.45 million, okay? That is owned by these communities that are doing this. I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to show you the value of what they had to do. By the way, no one expected them to do this. Nobody thought they were going to do it. Nobody expected it to be done, but I'm going to hit this verify button. You're going to see my shares are going to go from the 14,003 something that I have. Oh, look, I got 4,100 more. Now there's 18,955 gift certificate with the potential of, oh, we got to let it update here. Let's see if the number updates down at the bottom. Drum roll. I don't know if they're calculating it down here yet, guys, but look at that, guys. 18,955 shares gift certificate. If you guys could real quick, if any of you guys have your Wi-Fi account open, can you please open it and see? We had somebody today who came in as a person who said, you know what, I'm not gonna really share it with a lot of people, but I'm gonna put a decent amount in it. And today they received over 10,000 new ones. I talked to somebody else, they got 6,000 new shares. Somebody else got 547. So all you have to do, guys, is go and claim that. Jody was saying that the estimate is $81 a share. So if you took that on the additional 4,000 shares, it's 400,000 in additional value that has been built that was basically given to us. So with that understanding, guys, in going through this, I really believe that this gesture by the company puts us in a position where we as people need to get out of our comfort zones and share this with as many people as we can, because here's the goal. I've always believed for 10 plus years that if a company, I was actually founded with the founders of the company, the principles of it, understanding that community is commerce, which means you always favor on the side of the community member. So Carolyn's a community member. They're going to favor for her. Bill's a community member. You know, Dawn's a community member. Deb. These guys just favored in your favor, and it wasn't expected. Nobody thought they were going to do it. But that's the key to it. When you understand that community is commerce, and you understand that the founders understand that, here's the value proposition. Let's say that Wi-Fi reaches its goal of 1 billion customers. My estimation, company would create somewhere between $4 and $6 trillion in value. Some of that will be for the token. Some of that will be for the core company. We benefit from the token. We benefit from the core company. The key to this is if you understand Web3 and you understand that the founders understand it, the majority of that wealth will be in the hands of us, the community. If you don't understand Web3, you're like, okay, the majority of the value stays with us, and we'll give some value to our customer base and to other people. But if you understand and you know that the principals who run this company, now I got to tell you, this was a big decision to be made. I just showed you where one account, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? of extra and additional. Look at all the other people, 935, right? That's another, possible $80,000 in value that would be created. This had to take all five founders agreeing to make this happen. So now we have the most powerful entity, the biggest industry in the world, banking, $1.2 trillion in profit in 2024, and it was higher in 2025. And you have five founders who founded a company who said, you know what, we're going to build a Web3 company that's for the benefit. And you guys have heard Reeves say it himself on the recordings that we played. The benefit of this is being built for the community members. That's who will receive the benefit. Now, they said it, and saying something and doing something are two different things. They have now done it. Unexpected, never thought they would type of thing, but they did it. And that shows that they care about you, they care about me. We're going to build an empire here. We're going to build the largest bank in the world with the majority of that value going to us. I'm sharing this with every single person I know, guys. We are going to get this thing built up. They deserve our effort to help them become as successful as possible, because with their success, we're tremendously, just the success of the community is so much bigger because the majority of it goes to us. So these are the kind of people that you want to really want to win the race, right? You're like, go guys, win the race. Why? Because if they win the race, the prize goes to us. And that's an amazing thing. So they'll do the hard work. They'll go out and get the regulatory stuff done. They'll put together the financing, which, by the way, guys, we had a meeting last night, dinner. We're having another meeting here coming up. I can tell you that this company is so well funded that they do have the resources necessary. And there's some other stuff, and maybe I'll share it at some point here. The resources are here to build this into the largest global bank in the world. I am absolutely assured, absolutely confident we're in the right place at the right time, building the right opportunity. So thank you guys for joining me. I have to go because I have a meeting coming up with corporate to sit down with them and talk through some of the stuff that we want to talk to them about. We'll have some other updates. We're going to do a call tomorrow night. We'll go over this more. They're going to play the presentation now. So for new people that are on here that have never seen and they're like, what is he talking about? It's a Web3 company, WeFi bank. Phenomenal founders of the bank are going to create massive wealth for people that are part of the community. So appreciate everybody. Sharona's going to take over. She's going to do a replay. So you'll see me, but I'll be in another meeting. But thank you guys. Tomorrow night, we're going to do 6:30 PST, and I'm going to go over some more of this because this is extremely important. We all have our treasure, we all have our relationships, and we all have our time. Where we invest that treasure, where we invest that time, and where we invest that relationships is extremely important. It will either create value in our lives, it'll drain value from our lives. WeFi has proven that they will take our treasure and do the best absolute for it. They'll take our relationships and do the best with it because they're going to help every single person that we bring into this thing. And they're going to take our time, and they value our time. And so it's worth it for us to take our treasure, our relationships, and our time and put it towards helping them become the largest bank in the world, because that means we own the largest bank in the world. All right, Sharona, I'm turning it all over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Super, super excited, and all the best with your meeting this afternoon with Dr. John. You and Doug, Kyle, are meeting with him. So all the best to you both. And we'll hear more from you tomorrow night. And safe travels home.
Yeah, especially safe travels home.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So